What is going on, Ringmasters? It is once again Brent Dunn and Steven from RingProfit.com. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about the best niches to go after for doing local marketing pay-per-call. And the first one is every time I tell someone to generate leads for a local business, for some reason, every person thinks of dentists and lawyers first. And ironically, those are the two most competitive and hardest clients to close.
Yeah, if you think about it, like dentists, from my experience, I've never landed a dentist maybe once, but they're always busy. They're working on a patient. So you always have to leave a message, and that message will never go through.
Well, not even that, it's that you have to go through the gatekeeper. They have a receptionist, so you never get connected to them, and you'll never get your info passed to them.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to say, like, you have the gatekeeper, she takes the message, or the receptionist, and she'll never pass it off. And good luck if they ever call you back. It's very, like, they'll call you back if they're desperate. And, I just personally don't like dentists at all. Doctors is the other one. It's like, in Canada, it's different, though. In the US, it's very competitive, but in Canada, it's like we have, like, healthcare. So, or if there's a private clinic, yeah, there's small percentages where if you don't want to wait to go to see a doctor, you could pay and see them right away. In those cases, you could promote them, but chances are they're already packed. Like, everyone's always packed here. So I stay away from them. It's a waste of time. It's like, who cares? Let them do their own marketing.
And in the dentist side, on the US side rather, the dentist lead gen space is pretty much dominated by the big guys. There's already 1-800 dentists. There's actual entire companies that are dedicated to producing leads for dentists specifically. The actual pay-per-call affiliate networks push dentist offers a lot. And the other one, for some reason, that people love to think that they should generate leads for is lawyers, which is very similar to a dentist in the fact that they usually have a secretary. They usually already have someone, doing their marketing. And on top of that, the affiliate networks promote a lot of these offers. So not only are you going against, the local SEO and pay-per-call guys or pay-per-click guys, but you're also going against all the affiliates that are trying to run these pay-per-call offers as well.
That's right. And like, I know you have a few places where you like to look to kind of find niches, and it'll pop up in front of your face without even realizing. Like, even some crazy ones like storm damage control or some shit for like roofing. Like, roofing is one that I really like. I have experience from that. Because again, like I said in another previous video, my mom went through that, and so I had to call up a lot of roofers, and I like that kind of stuff. There's also like plumbers. Like, you can find a niche without even realizing. You'll walk to the store and you'll just see, like, oh, appliances, like, or like bathroom renovation,
like when we were at the gas station. Remember, we were at the gas station and a snow removal truck drove up. His number right there. It was his own company. One guy could have easily closed that guy. Obviously, can't really generate snow removal leads in the summer, but it would be a perfect time to start building up that site, getting it ready for the winter.
Yeah, and like, for example, there can be some areas where you go after roofing businesses and it works out. There's demand, it's working out, it's a great payout. And then there's some areas I'm not gonna say it's rare, but it does happen where it's hard for roofing. It's like it's like the demand is not there. And this is why we actually talked about, population size of a city. It's like you want to target cities that have a certain population, right? We go over that. And so roofing is one, plumbing is another. I mean, flooring is a good one. People are doing that. Any house, like, and this goes down to research. Everything comes down to research. It's like, if the house is old, like if it's a city that has generally older houses, like, flooring is going to kill it there.
Yeah, doing the research first is important. And with a smaller city, like if the population isn't large enough for a small business owner that, like the actual plumber themselves, it might be okay because that means there's probably not as many plumbers in that city. But for you as lead generators, you want a larger population, you want a higher demand. So you don't want to find things that, isn't like snow removal. Like I mentioned, it could have been a good one, but then you're only making money half the year. The other thing is we already mentioned lawyers and dentists. You don't want to go after white collar, businesses where you have to go through the gatekeeper, and the gatekeeper is a receptionist. On top of that, you know how much paperwork and everything it would be involved to score a lawyer as a client, on top of, a dentist. And even to add on top of that, sometimes in some states and different, regulations in cities, it's actually illegal for you to generate leads for certain lawyers and um, certain niches like real estate and stuff. So as far as the niches that I like to go after, it's really blue collar, because you're dealing one-on-one with the business owner. You're not having to deal with the receptionist. Like if you call up a plumber, chances are you're calling the plumber himself, the actual owner of that business, not some receptionist. Sometimes you will, but it's still much easier to score a blue collar guy than it is a white collar.
Yeah, there's also like handyman services, which is a little hard to pinpoint the exact price because each one, depending on the area and city and how much volume they have, those are different prices. But one of my other favorites is like garages. At least here in Montreal, for example, you have like Door Doctor. Like you have all these independent or these small businesses like that repair garage doors and stuff, or whatever, service them. But if you're thinking big and you land somebody like Door Doctor and they're open to and they have, let's say, 5-6 locations, my God, if they're willing to accept your leads, it's like shit. You could potentially close like $10,000 a month just by that one company because they've got so many other branched out all over the place. So that's pretty cool. I usually look for that. I usually look for the higher fruit. You could go for the lower guys because again, if you have like experience, like if your garage door is like fucked up and you called somebody, like you have that experience, use that to your benefit when you call them up. Like go after that stuff. You know it, so go after them.
And it's, well, one thing is as you grow in knowledge and ability to be able to generate leads, you can go after more difficult niches because yes, sometimes there is more money there. So for example, though, when you're first starting out, the funny thing is if you go after clients that have a higher ticket item, like commercial landscaping, for example, the average job is like $25,000 here in California. So are you going to generate as many leads a month? No. But if you score one lead for a company, it's worth that much money. You could be selling that lead for thousands of dollars. You can work out a plan where you get a commission from the job. You sell them outright. You can do all sorts of stuff. Now, the cool thing is yes, there's not as much volume. You're making a ton per lead. Maybe you only do one lead a month, every 2 months, maybe once every 6 months. But the chances are that that'll be so low in competition that you can basically build it and forget it. And when you do get leads, that's just, just keep building sites like that. The other option, which Steven likes to go after, is going after, like you mentioned, the larger companies that service multiple areas. Now, to add to that, the cool thing is you can get one of those companies, what was it, Door Doctor or whatever, but then you can also find local guys on top of that and sell the leads to the highest paying guy, because maybe Door Doctor doesn't want to pay that much money for a lead in a certain city, but someone else will. So that gives you tons of options.
Yeah, another good one is like swimming pools. I mean, there's like siding, there's fencing. I mean, let me ask you this though: somebody who's just getting started in PPC, like, and they have no idea even what the word niche means. Like, so how would they go find it? Like, what advice can you give to them? Like where they could find niches to research on.
Well, pretty much every niche will work unless unless there's some rules or regulations that you have to follow to actually generate leads for them, like the real estate thing. A lot of people think they can generate real estate leads, but you actually in some places have to have a real estate license. If you're just starting out with everything, the it's a bit more risky in the fact that you'll spend time on something that may not work, but at least you can learn the steps, is going after something that's not very competitive whatsoever, like breast augmentation, rhinoplasty, commercial landscaping, maybe these side things where like I had a buddy that would spray driveways with some type of spray so it wouldn't crack in the winter, stuff like that. It's less competitive, but it's easy to rank and it's easy to validate the idea.
That's very good though that you mentioned like cosmetics or like plastic surgery or like rhinoplasty and all that kind of stuff. It's like if you don't know those terms, if you're like a noob or something and you have like no idea, like, oh, where do I didn't know about fencing, all that stuff. Just go on Home Advisor, see the topics there, see like the categories, use those categories and then research there. go on like medical sites and see what people typically, like what services they offer, you know, and do your research that way. You're going to find one that, like, my God, you can make a lot of money just by doing your own research into a niche and then
Yeah.
finding a city for that. It's like, that's the fun part too. It's like when you see the potential, you're like, holy shit,
It
right?
really comes down to your confidence levels, like anything. If you're not confident in yourself on the marketing side, go after something that's not competitive. If you're confident in yourself to be able to learn and to get and you really want to get going, then yeah, Home Advisor, for example, that has basically all the information you need to at least find people already willing to purchase leads. However, you can also do out of the box thinking. So, like, I know Steven had mentioned that his mom just had a new roof repaired or whatever, so he knew information about roofing. He just had a personal experience. If you have any in, like if you know an HVAC guy or you know something, I'm sure you have a neighbor or something, that's your in. If you are not confident in talking to someone, but you'll go talk to your neighbor because he's an electrician, talk to him and see if he's interested in purchasing leads, because then you can validate your idea. You can actually go through the motions and get it going without any risk of worrying about sales later.
Yeah, a lot of guys would be like, oh, fuck that. I don't want to do that. But it's like, man, you're building something here. It's like, imagine having leads for, you know, like, I don't know, like fencing and then swimming pool, garage doors, carpentry. I mean, then you start building out your network. It's like, that's what this is about. It's like building out long-term properties. Um, you know, another one I personally don't, I stay away from is like the lawn care. I don't know if that's something that you like, but I stay away from the lawn care. Just like personally, sometimes I've gotten such low, like what they're willing to pay, that's not even worth my time. I'm like, oh, screw that. And you're gonna get that. In some niches, you're gonna get like crappy rates that they're not willing to pay, right?
It
So
really
yeah,
depends though, because
exactly, it depends.
like lawn care, for example, a lot of guys will think that same thing, and so like in a larger populated city, not as many people would be targeting leads for lawn care as they would for something else, but you make up for it in volume. So like I wouldn't suggest doing lawn care in a city with like 25,000 people. You won't make any money because these guys will only pay like $10 to $20 on the high end for a lead. However, commercial landscaping and stuff like that, that is a total different story where you score them a client and they're making bank. However, you need to do research in the niche because in theory, finding someone that does lawn care for businesses is a good idea. However, the reality is a lot of them just bid on jobs just from a website. So if you didn't know that, you'd be wasting your time building up these properties and doing that.
It's a very good point. And you don't want to assume this too. You don't want to assume like, you know, maybe that niche isn't good. This isn't going to work out. That town sucks. Like you don't want to assume. It's in all of business. You never want to assume. Even when you're making the sale, even if you research a business, you know, you don't want to assume that they're not good because you know, or maybe it's like they don't look good or like the name sounds stupid. You don't feel like going after them. Never assume. Look at everything as an opportunity. Go through all the niches that you want and just like don't like you can pick one in the beginning, but don't not pick one because you don't like it. It's like that could end up being the moneymaker for you. You
Yeah.
know?
And you know, we keep hammering you with research, and you know, if you watched any of our previous videos, we're all about research because data is power. Data makes you money. And so another way to kind of backdoor this, if you don't know which niche to go into, is type in SEO in your city that you're targeting or pay-per-click agency in the city that you're targeting. Try and find a local guy, call him up, act like you're a business, and ask him who he generally works with. If he starts saying that he generally works with HVAC guys or whatever, find his footer, because usually they put a footer, search in Google. You know, I could make a tutorial video on this later, but basically search in Google for his little footer, start calling up all his clients and sell him leads because you already know that they're already interested in SEO. Same thing with Home Advisor. If you know someone is paying in Home Advisor for leads, you can call them up and you can start the conversation saying, how's Home Advisor working for you? You already know that they're doing it. Same with Yellow Pages. Like there's ways to figure it out.
And yeah, there's a lot of information online. There's a lot of sites that provide data. You know, if you're just smart about it, it's very basic, I'd say college level research, if you will. It's nothing deep or intense, but the more you dig, and I found this in all my businesses I've ever done, the more you dig, the more you're gonna find something. You just have to dig and dig deeper and dig deeper, and then you're gonna find, for example, like if I'm looking at like roofing, for example, then I'm gonna pull up and I find a specific city, like at Macon or something in Georgia, I'm gonna dig so deep into all the analytics. Like it's crazy. Like I'll look at the population, the number of houses. I'll look at, you know, what year those houses are. I mean, it's all there for you for the taking. Just common sense after that.
Yeah. Yeah. Knowing all that data, you'll very quickly know, you know, which services to go after. Like we mentioned, all you got to do is look up how long. So for the roofer example, how do you find places with good, like a high amount of homes that need roofing soon? Well, first you would look up what's the average amount of years until a roof needs to be replaced on a home? 25 years. Okay, now I need to find a city that has a large amount of homes that are 25 years old. Okay, I found a huge population of homes. Now you need to find a city. Now you need to make sure that that city actually is mostly homeowners, because if it's a landowner or a landlord that owns the home and you're trying to, there's not a lot of people that are going to be looking for roof replacement for the rental, and the landlords usually already work with contractors because they have multiple properties. So knowing all this stuff ahead of time really allows you to know the market and if it's worth your time, and it'll allow you to find hidden opportunities. You know, if whatever, if the roofing, if there's not much roofing competition, for example, and you find a prime zip code where all the houses are 20 to 25 years old, you can target just that one and bid a lot more if you're trying to generate traffic from AdWords or something like that, and get high quality leads, because there's going to be a ton of volume with people needing roof replacement there.
Yeah, you got to use common sense. Like you just said a very, very good point with the landlords is that they always have an id. They always know somebody because they know they can get the best deal. Where you have homeowners, you find a population where it has a lot of homeowners. They don't know that. They're just regular Joes. They're going to call up. They're going to do what like 90% of people do. You know, go to Google and call up a company. So very good point. And so like in this video, you guys should understand that there's a lot of research that you need to put into businesses. You can find the niches that you like. And there will obviously be some that you favor, but ideally, you don't want to assume. You want to just go after each one and kind of hammer it out. It's like that's what I did. And of course, I have my favorites based on profits and stuff. But each person's gonna be different. You're gonna find cities that I haven't found. You're gonna find niches that work amazingly well that I haven't found. It's like it's just out there for the open.
That's a great point. Even though we're mentioning roofing and we have our own individual niches that we are more experts on, the reason we're experts on them is because we put in the research ourselves. If you follow a guide where it just shows you how to do dentist leads, that means everyone else is competing with dentists as well that's doing that. However, if you do your research and find a niche that may not be as popular, there may be a niche that Steven and I have no idea about that may be paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars a lead, and there's no one doing it. Like, there is opportunity out there. Like, I don't know if it's this video or another video. We've already done a lot of videos about the limo service. There was a agency that specializes for limo services specifically. Who would have thought that there's a company that's dedicated just specifically to that? But the good news is all the limo service buddies are all going to tell their buddies that are in the limo industry, hey, I use this guy. You can be that guy for whatever niche it is that you choose.
Yeah, so I mean, like, I think this is a really, like, if someone's just getting into PPC and they want to start learning about niches, like, that's probably the first thing you want to do. This is a great video. It's an overview. And I think my time's up, man. I have to get going now.
All right, sounds good.
So
So yeah, guys, we'll do a lot more of these videos. Like always, please comment down below any questions you have. We'll try and make videos that answer your questions or reply to you in the comments. Just remember one thing: if you take nothing else from this video, do your research, find your own niches, and you'll have success.
yeah, guys, take care. Hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you next time.